Okay everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to export some of your VMs and then later import them back into a new system, and when needed taking some of our temporary or standard VMs and then cloning them for something that we're going to be using in a lab. Okay? So let's start with our temp server standard, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to export this. I've got my VM VirtualBox Manager open. I've got my temp server standard here. I'm going to give it a right click and I'm going to go to export. So we basically can set this thing for format 1. And then down below identify where we're going to store this file, this export file, and it's going to have an extension of OVA. So pretty much just go with the standard default settings. Include only NAT address adapter and MAC addresses, and that's just fine. So we'll move on. We'll say next. Okay, take your defaults here, say export, and then say OK, and disregard that last message because I already had a file out there, so I'm just overwriting it, and that's fine. So we'll go through this process. It's going to take a couple of minutes to do, and we'll pick up again after it completes. Alright everybody, so we've completed our export of the temp server standard, and you can see that file right here, the OVA file, with today's date of 10/1. Alright, so that's exporting a VM, and now we can take this OVA file and we can copy it to whatever machine we're working on. Let's say we want to install this VM in our classroom workstation, or we want to install it in your computer at home or your laptop. But all you need to do is just copy the OVA into the system that you want to set the VM up. So we're now going to go around the other way, and we're now going to do an import, and we're going to bring this OVA into our VirtualBox VM Manager. Okay, so we'll bring that up. Here we go. So I'm going to delete my standard, my temp standard here. Let's say remove, and we'll say delete all the files. And now I'm going to do an import. So we'll go to File, and we'll say Import. And now it wants to know where the OVA file is, and I'm going to point to My Documents, which is where I stored it. And there it is right there. And so we'll click on that. We'll say Open. Then we'll say Next. We'll say Import, taking all the defaults. And now this will take a couple of minutes, and again I will come back after this completes. So we've completed the import, and here you can see it listed at the bottom of our list now. I'm just going to push it back up to the top of our list. Let's see if I can make that happen. No? Let's see. Move. Alright. Oh no. That's not the move I want. Okay. I see what I need to do. There we go. Okay, so we've got everything in place. Now what we're going to do is we are going to clone this image and create a server that we'll be using later on in our lab. So we're going to point to our temp server standard, and we're going to do a clone. And the name of this clone is going to be server AD for Active Directory, and we'll say next. We'll say a full clone and then hit the clone button, and we'll let that cook, and I'll come back after this thing finishes cloning. Okay, so here we are. We've got our server cloned, and you can see it at the bottom of our list, and we're now ready to move on to our next step, which I will not put into this video. So we have completed the task. If you have questions, if you have problems, please let me know. Thank you.